Hi, my name is Claire Kassel, and I'm going to be reading John 8 and 9 for you guys today. While Jesus went to the Mountain of Olives, early in the morning he came again to the temple. All the people came to him, and he sat down and began to teach them. The scribes and Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery, and making her stand before all of them, they said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. Now the law of Moses commanded us to stone such women. Now what do you say?" They said this to test him so that they might have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and wrote his finger on the ground. When they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." And once again he bent down and wrote on the ground. When they heard it, they went away, one by one, beginning with the elders, and Jesus was left alone with the woman standing before him. Jesus straightened up and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No one, sir." And Jesus said, "Neither do I commend you. Go your way, and from now on do not sin again." Jesus, the light of the world. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." When the Pharisees said to him, "You are testifying on your own behalf. Your testimony is not valid." Jesus answered, "Even if I testify on my own behalf, my testimony is valid, because I know where I have come from and where I am going. But you do not know where I come from or where I am going. You judge by human standards. I judge no one. Yet even if I do judge, my judgment is valid. For it is not I alone who judge, but I and the Father who sent me. In your law it is written that you testify of 2 witnesses is valid. I testify on my own behalf, and the Father who sent me testifies on my behalf." They said to him, "Where is your Father?" Jesus answered, "You know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father also." He spoke these words while he was teaching the treasury of the temple, but no one arrested him because his hour had not yet come. Jesus foretells his death. Again he said to them, "I am going away and will search for me, but you will die in your sin. Where I am going, you cannot come." The Jews said, "Is he going to kill himself? Is that what he meant by saying, 'I am going where you cannot come'?" He said to them, "You are from below, I am from above. You are from this world, I am not of this world. I told you that you will die in your sins, for you will die in your sins unless you believe that I am he." He said to them, "Who are you?" Jesus said to them, "Why do I speak to you at all? I have much to say about you and much to condemn, but the one who sent me is true. I declare to the world that I have heard from him." They did not understand that he was speaking to them about the Father. So Jesus said, "When you have lifted me up, Son of Man, then you will realize that I am he, and that I do nothing on my own, but I speak these things as Father instructed me. And the one who sent me is with me. He had not left me alone, for I always do what is pleasing to him." He said these things. Many believed in him. True disciples. Then Jesus said to the Jews who had believed him, "If you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free." They answered him, "We are descendants of Abraham and have never been slaves to anyone. What do you mean by saying you will be made free?" Jesus answered them, "Very truly, I tell you, everyone who commits sin is a slave to sin. The slave does not have a permanent place in the household, the son who has a place there forever. So if the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed. I know that you are descendants of Abraham, yet you look for an opportunity to kill me, because there is no place for you in my world. I declare what I have seen in Father's presence. As for you, you should do what you have heard from the Father." Jesus and Abraham. They answered him, "Abraham is our father." Jesus said to them, "If you were Abraham's children, you wouldn't be doing what Abraham did. But you are now trying to kill me, a man who has told you the truth that I have heard from God. This is not what Abraham did. You are indeed doing what your father does." They said to him, "We are not illegitimate children. We have one Father, God himself." Jesus said to them, "If God were your father, would you love me? For I came from God, and now I am here. I did not come on my own, but he sent me. Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot accept my word. You are from your father the devil, and do not choose to do your father's desires. He was murdered from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth to him. When he lies, he is speaking according to his own nature, for he is a liar and the father of lies. But because I tell you the truth, you do not believe me. Which of you convicts me of sin? If I tell the truth, why do you not believe me? Whoever from God hears the word of God, the reason you do not hear them is because you are not from God. The Jews answered him, Are we not right in saying that you are a Samaritan and have a demon? Jesus answered, I do not have a demon, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. Yet I do not seek my own glory. There is one who seeks it, and he is the judge. Very truly, I tell you, whoever keeps me in this world will never see death. The Jews said to him, Now we know you have a demon. Abraham died, and so did the prophets. Yet you say, Whoever keeps my word will never taste death. Are you greater than our father Abraham, who died? The prophets also died. Who do you claim to be? Jesus answered, If I glorify myself, my glory is nothing. It is my Father who glorifies me, he whom you say is our God. Though you do not know him, but I know him. If I say that I do not know him, I would be a liar like you. But I do know him and keep his word. Your ancestor Abraham rejoiced and said that he would see my day. He saw it and was glad. Then the Jews said to him, You are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham? Jesus said to them, Very truly I tell you, before Abraham was, I am. So they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple. John 9. A man born blind receives sight. As he walked along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither this man nor his parents sinned. He was born blind, so that God's works might be revealed to him. We must work with the works of him who sent me. While it is day, night is coming, and no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. He said this, and spat on the ground, and made the mud with saliva, and spread the mud on the man's eyes, saying to him, Go wash in the pool of Siloam, which means sent. Then he went and washed and came back to see. The neighbors, those who had seen him before as a beggar, began to ask, Is this not the man who used to sit and beg? Some people were saying, It is he. Others were saying, No, but it is someone like him. He kept saying, I am the man. But they kept asking him, Then were your eyes opened? He answered, The man called Jesus made mud, spread it on my eyes, and said to me, Go Siloam and wash. Then I went to wash and received my sight. They said to him, Where is he? He said, I do not know. The prophecies investigate the healing. They brought to the prophecies the man who had formerly been blind. Now it was a Sabbath day when Jesus made the mud and opened his eyes. Then the prophecies also began to ask him how he had received in his sight. He said to them, He put mud on my eyes, then I washed, now I see. Some of the prophecies said, This man is not from God, for he does not observe the Sabbath. But the others said, How can a man who is a sinner perform such signs? They were divided. Soon they said again to the blind man, What did you say about him? It was your eyes he opened. He said, He is a prophet. The Jews did not believe that he had been blind and received his sight until they called the parents of the man who had received his sight and asked him, Is this your son who you say was born blind? How then does he now see? His parents answered, We know that this is our son and he was born blind, but we do not know if he now sees, nor do we know who opened his eyes. Ask him, he is of age, he will speak for himself. His parents said that they were afraid of the Jews, for the Jews had already agreed to anyone who would confess to Jesus to be the Messiah. They would be put in synagogues. Therefore his parents said, He is of age, ask him. So for the second time they called the man who had been blind, and they said to him, Glory give to God. We know that this man is a sinner. He answered, I do not know whether he is a sinner. One thing I do know, that though I was blind, now I see. They said to him, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered them, "I have told you already, and you would not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciples?" Then they reviled him, saying, "You are his disciples, but we are disciples of Moses. We know that God has spoken to Moses, but as for this man, we do not know where he comes from." The man answered, "Here is an astonishing thing. You do not know where he comes from, and yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but he does listen to the one who worships and obeys his will. Never since the world began has it been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not God, he could not do anything." They answered him, "You were born entirely in sins, and you are trying to teach us?" They drove him out. Spiritual blindness. Jesus heard that they had driven him out, and when he found them, he said, "Do you not believe in the Son of Man?" He answered, "Who is he, sir? Tell me so that I may believe in him." Jesus said to him, "You have seen him, and no one is speaking with you. Is he?" He said, "Lord, I believe." And he worshipped him. Jesus said, "I came to the world for judgment, so that those who do not see may see, and those who do not see may become blind." Some of the Pharisees near him heard this and said to him, "Surely we are not blind, are we?" Jesus said to them, "If you were blind, you would not have sinned. But now that you say, 'We see,' your sin remains."